Attention, the following video is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the creator. Viewer discretion is advised, just in case you take everything personally. You know her, the girl who enters a room quietly and somehow commands it. She doesn't overshare, she rarely posts. You don't know what she's thinking, you probably don't even know what she sounds like. And that's exactly why you want to know more. She's the mysterious girl, one of the most powerful and timeless archetypes in beauty, fashion, and relationships. Today, we're going to unpack the psychology behind her allure, the cultural icons who embody this archetype, and the modern evolution of mysterious girl energy. Let's get into it. In ancient mythology, figures like Cleopatra embodied their duality, seductive yet unknowable. Her allure wasn't just in her beauty, but in her intellect and the way she revealed only what served her. Cleopatra famously used carefully curated appearances, lavish settings, and political theatrics to maintain an air of mystery. Every public moment was calculated, every private one protected. And then we fast forward to old Hollywood, where glamour itself became a tool of mystique. This era wasn't just about beauty, it was about suggestion. Soft lighting, smoky eyes, and veiled glances created an atmosphere where stars appeared almost larger than life, yet untouchable. Publicity machines carefully guarded their private lives, and the public was fed only what the studios allowed. Yeah, what the studios allowed. The more you wanted to know, the less you were told. And that's exactly what kept audiences coming back. Now, psychologically, this taps into a very basic human instinct. Scarcity equals value. And so what that basically means is the less accessible something or someone is, the more we tend to idealize it. When a woman withholds pieces of herself, her story, her emotions, her availability, she triggers curiosity, which quickly morphs into obsession. This formula never went out of style. It just moved online. Today's mysterious girls on Instagram and TikTok are working from the same playbook. They show just enough, a blurred image, a cryptic caption, here and there. Perfectly curated feeds that invite curiosity, not oversharing, because in a world obsessed with transparency, mystery has once again become the ultimate flex. Let's get into it. Now, before we understand or analyze why the mysterious girl works, we have to understand how we've seen her in action. So let's look at today's girlies, right? Let's take Cassie, for instance. The Cassie and Diddy dynamic was a masterclass in mysterious girl energy. Cassie really spoke publicly, even during the years of public speculation. She posted sparingly, a few images here and there, a brief clip there, very sparingly, always leaving more question than answers. Now, by staying silent and poised, she allowed the media and, more importantly, the public to project their own narratives onto her. Was she the perfect cool girl, a trapped muse, a silent mastermind? No one really knew until she told her story. And that ambiguity only heightened her mystique. Now, let's take Aaliyah, for instance. I feel like I always reference her in almost all of my videos, but I just can't help myself. Her style is still iconic because it balanced softness and distance, the signature sunglasses, side-swept bangs that partially obscured her face, low measured voice, all created a visual and emotional barrier. In interviews, she was very gracious and polite, but always withheld more than she shared. Her charm came not from being seen, but from, partially being hidden. She embodied the magnetic power of suggestion. Now, moving on to perhaps one of the ultimate mysterious girls, you know who I'm talking about, Miss Sade herself, who remains a beloved figure precisely because so little is known about her personal life. Minimal public appearances, sparse interviews, a decade-long career where her music, not her persona, takes center stage. The mystery surrounding Sade keeps her timeless. We admire her not just for her voice, but for her restraint in an era that demands constant exposure. Of course, we cannot forget about Miss Lorie Harvey herself. She is this generation's mystery it girl, so could not leave her out. We didn't even know what Lorie sounded like up until like a couple of years ago. Like, we just all saw her face and no one ever knew what her voice sounded like. And then she spoke and we were like, oh, okay, hey girl, all right. So she does have a voice. Yeah, that's what I call mystery girl. Not even mystery girl, mystery girl. We have our mother-daughter duo. How could I leave off Miss Zoe Kravitz and Lisa Bonet? Both modern embodiments of the archetype. They both exude a nonchalant mystique, an energy that says, I'm not here to entertain you, I just exist. Yeah. Their style is effortless, their public appearance is controlled, they show up when they want to, say only what they choose to share, and retreat just as easily. This selective visibility enhances their allure. And I love Zoe Kravitz. Like, her whole vibe, that's what I try to like embody on a daily. I'm just like, let me hop into my Zoe Kravitz bag. So those are like the celebrities that embody Mysterious Girl. But let's not mistake it. We're definitely seeing this Mysterious Girl aesthetic reborn on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. You know, the minimal posting, soft neutral color palettes, subtle, most cryptic captions, rare full face videos, often, you know, shot from angles that obscure, you know, as much as they reveal. And no oversharing on stories. Everything feels intentional. My favorite YouTuber, I love Aaliyah's face. I feel like she is very Mysterious Girl. She didn't start off that way. As a YouTuber, she was always oversharing, in my opinion. But then, like, she grew. And she was like, yeah, y'all gonna know what I want you to know. And I love that about her. She embodies Mysterious Girl to the T. Leave your favorite Mysterious Girl down below. I'm very curious who you guys have on your list. Now, getting into the psychology of it, because y'all know I have to bring everything back to the psychology of it, okay? So let's break it down. The Mysterious Girl acts as a blank canvas. The less she shares, the more room there is for others to project their own fantasies, ideas, and hopes onto her, right? So psychologically, we tend to just fill in the gaps with idealized traits. Seeing someone as more perfect, more intriguing, and more desirable simply because they remain undefined. The unknown feels exciting, and in the absence of clarity, we often imagine the best. And then also we have ambiguity bias, right? So studies show that humans are drawn to ambiguity, especially in attraction. Why? Because when something is ambiguous, our brains get to fill in the blanks again, and we tend to fill them with positive assumptions. That's why a half smile or a subtle post will, you know, often spark more curiosity than an over-explained caption or a constant stream of updates. Yeah, ambiguity invites engagement, both mentally and emotionally. And then we have the chase instinct. So humans are wired to pursue things that just feel out of reach, you know? Like, that's why women want men to chase them. You know, we want the things that feel just out of reach. We want to feel out of reach. When someone is emotionally unavailable or difficult to fully read, it activates a primal pursuit response. Like, as human beings, we just can't help ourselves. If something seems unavailable or like, you know, difficult to arouse, we're like, let me explore that further. This effect is even stronger in individuals with certain anxious or avoidant attachment styles. That's why it's important to know your attachment style. Individuals who do have these attachment styles may be psychologically conditioned to chase validation or seek closeness from those who slightly remain distant. Now, the Mysterious Girl leverages this instinct without ever needing to explicitly ask for attention. And then we have silent confidence. At the heart of the Mysterious Girl is self-assurance. She doesn't chase attention. She doesn't flood the feed with updates or seek constant validation or attention. This kind of self-contained energy signals status, security, and emotional stability, traits we are biologically drawn to because they suggest evolutionary fitness and high social value. The message is clear: I am complete without your approval. And paradoxically, that only draws more interest. It doesn't push it away. Now, with some good comes some bad. And just like every other archetype, the Mysterious Girl does have a dark side. Because when you live behind the veil, no matter how beautiful, it eventually casts shadows. When people project their fantasies onto you, they aren't seeing you for who you truly are. At first, this feels powerful, even addictive. You're admired, chased, placed on a pedestal. But the higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. Idealization often leads to deep misunderstandings. You may be seen as cold when you're private. You may be fetishized for your mystique, while your real complexities are ignored. People may grow resentful when the fantasy doesn't match the reality, right? And so, in short, being idealized is not the same as being loved, and navigating that gap can be emotionally exhausting. Another point I want to make is that for some women, the mysterious girl persona is not just an aesthetic choice, it's a defense mechanism. So, it's a built in shield from past trauma, betrayal, or deeply rooted belief that vulnerability is unsafe. This can lead to a form of hyper independence, projecting an image of untouchable confidence, but at the same cost of true emotional openness. In relationships, this dynamic creates an unhealthy push pull type of, you know, energy per se. The more mysterious you seem, the more some people will chase you, but that pursuit often hits an invisible wall because genuine connection requires vulnerability. The result, a cycle where people chase the image, not the person, and intimacy is always just out of reach. Now, I'm not saying it's a crime to fall into this archetype. This is actually one of my favorite archetypes. But what I'm saying is that there's a paradox at the heart of this archetype. You can be deeply admired, but profoundly lonely. By building walls and carefully curating what's shared, many mysterious girls struggle to form relationships, like genuine relationships, where they can be fully seen, flaws, fears, and all. This kind of loneliness is unique because it's not about lacking attention, it's more about lacking authentic connection. And many women who cultivate this image later report feelings of isolation in rooms full of admirers, trapped in a persona they can't easily drop, or afraid that showing their true selves will disappoint the very people who praise them. And that's the quiet cost of mystery. The more you withhold, the harder it becomes to truly belong. So while the mysterious girl archetype does hold undeniable power, I would be a fool to say that it doesn't. It also comes with a price, because the more you control what others see, the harder it becomes to truly be seen. And honestly, in a digital world that's obsessed with exposure, sometimes the greatest power is knowing when to reveal and when to remain unseen. It's like a delicate balance, you know. In 2025, the mysterious girl energy is evolving. Now, I already gave my favorite YouTuber her credits earlier, Aaliyah's Face. Miss Jackie Aina is also known for being quite mysterious. She is one to only, post what she wants. But, in 2025, it's no longer about being unreachable. It's about being intentional. Soft life culture has revived this archetype in a new, elevated form. Visually, the modern mysterious girl communicates through subtle aesthetic cues, soft focused photos, effortless natural beauty, luxurious but understated fashion, elusive captions, and high quality content delivered in low quantity. Girlies, I feel like no matter what archetype you fall into, we should all be embodying this, okay? Digital scarcity, we all need to embody that, okay? It's the art of saying more but showing less, and it aligns perfectly with the quiet confidence behind the phrase, I'm not for everyone. Because in today's fast paced digital world, sometimes the most powerful energy is knowing when to remain a mystery. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more videos on like archetypes, I can definitely dive into a couple of them. This is just my favorite one. But yeah, just let me know down in the comments. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Mwah.